I'll feel a lot better about it. But I look forward to seeing Jordan Scarlett and some of those guys on the offensive side of the ball, especially with what McElwain can do on the offensive side of the ball. I look forward to seeing him. Kelvin Taylor, I know he's been there, but I look forward to seeing how he utilizes. There we go. All these guys, and I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully, better days are ahead than 6-5.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how Kelvin Taylor does.
Yeah, I think Kelvin will succeed well in the system that McElwain puts in. You got to think at Colorado State, his quarterbacks and running back and receivers did exceptionally well in his system. Mind you, they were playing against lesser talent than you're going to be going up against at Florida. But as a lot of times you hear me say on the show and everything, sometimes a scheme can set up a player for success. Sometimes a scheme can set up a dude for immense success. So hopefully that scheme comes in and helps Kelvin along, because you've seen what Kelvin can do. We've seen it at the Georgia game.
Yeah,
what Kelvin can do, and we've seen it last year during South Carolina, his freshman year, what he can do. So I'm looking forward to getting him in there and letting him go loose, especially now that Matt Jones is gone. That he'll be the centerpiece. Him and Jordan Scarlett are going to be our two guys to look forward to. So I'm definitely looking forward to that.
It really does boil down to the system. You're right about that. The system really does help the kid.
Oh, yeah.
Great example would be your former quarterback, Tim Tebow.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not saying he was a product of the system, but he ran the system so well, he'll probably be revered as probably one of the greatest spread quarterbacks of all time.
Well, look at the kid that's that played 3 games for Ohio State. That system is easy to run. And if you've been there for 3 years like he was there and soaked it all in, you can come right in and do that kind of stuff, because it's not like you're doing anything really difficult and where you're having to read these defenses really hard. You're not having to read them. You're reading almost 3 positions on that field when it comes to defense. The defensive ends, whichever way you're running the ball, 1 corner and 1 safety. And that's the 3 guys you're reading, because usually Urban wants you to go one place with the ball at a time.
Right.
And that's really what you got to read in that system. And that's a perfect example of his system works with a lot of – it's worked with 3 different quarterbacks, for God's sake, at Ohio State.
Yeah.
Nice.
I hate him, though.
All right.
Wait for his heart to hurt again.
All right, well.
Oh.
Hopefully once Harbaugh gets going, his heart will hurt.
Yeah, hopefully Harbaugh can make him a little sore.
That'd be great.
I'd love it. This would be one of the really only times I really rooted for Michigan.
Yeah.
Kill them!
But to let you know, Steve, I told Kevin that I was going to have a Big Ten guy come on the show.
I said, as long as he ain't Ohio State.
It's like a Big Ten guy. I was like, he's not Ohio State, he's Michigan. He's like, okay, come on.
Because I can't stand Ohio State.
Steve hates. I said, Steve hates Ohio State as much as you do. Probably even worse.
I can't stand Ohio State. There's a story behind
that seems to be the going trend that I've noticed. A lot of Gator fans just hate
No. My hate goes back.
Listen to Kevin's story.
My hate goes back. We went to a Buffalo Wild Wings for the 2006 National Championship game, where we were playing Ohio State. Buffalo Wild Wings is supposedly the big thing for Ohio State people. And in Orlando, you had the one on International Drive was the Ohio State Buckeye thing. So they all went there, but then half of them couldn't get in, so they all came to the one that we went to. Mind you, we went rolling 20 deep into Buffalo Wild Wings, but all of us wearing Gator stuff. We go rolling in there. So we roll in there. Most of the place is Ohio State fans. They all start booing us when we walk in. I'm like, boy, howdy, y'all. Lucky I'm not drunk yet. But we started watching the game. I was talking to some of them, nice couple that was sitting next to us. Started, but then there was another big table in front of us. They started running their mouth. So I'm like, I ain't gonna say nothing until the game starts. Then the first kickoff happens. They run it back and they start yapping. And I'm like, whatever. I'm like, it shows you how good y'all are. Your idiot receiver, that's probably your best player, just hurt himself. So I wouldn't be talking too much. So then we go right down the field. We scored a touchdown. And then we just start the ass whooping. And as we start the ass whooping, I start drinking. And then I started drinking. I just started mouthing off of, these buttholes got up at halftime during this butt kicking, left their poor waitresses with their bills and walked out.
Wow.
and this wasn't my first run-in with Ohio people, because I ran into, Cincinnati Bengals fans at a Jaguar game when Cincinnati supposedly was good. It was the year. It was the year when they went 7-0 to start the season. Then they came to Jacksonville, and Jacksonville beat the holy crap out of them. But all these Cincinnati fans all of a sudden showed up in Jacksonville, and they all started fighting women and everything else in the crowd.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah, I was there.
Yeah, was you there? Do you remember?
Oh, yeah.
The dude was sitting right in front of us. He got up and started yapping at a black lady that was sitting right behind him, started talking crap to her, and swung on the black lady. She got hit. The dude next to her stood up, who was about 6'4", 300-pound redneck from Jacksonville. Now, you done did the wrong thing, buddy. That big old redneck stood up. Wham! Hit that dude. That dude fell down. His buddy got up. Wham! That dude fell down. But I'm like, I've not met many nice people from Ohio. I have not.
Have you ever been to Ohio?
No, and there's a reason why. Just because of all the people.
Why? I mean, if you've never been to Ohio, let me just kind of give you a heads up.
Well, my wife's from Ohio.
Well, I hope she won't take this personally, but people in Ohio, generally, it's real gray up there. There's not a whole lot going on. The whole state smells like hot dog water, so I'm pretty pissed off, too.
So that's the smell I got from her dad when he came to the But yeah, I'm not. But she moved down here when she was 5, so we consider her Floridian. But I just, my disdain for that place, even though I've never been there, I've just met so many people from there that I just cannot stand. That I don't like the place. I just really don't.
Oh man!
And LeBron did what every other person from Cleveland does, except he moved back to Ohio. Usually you go from Ohio and you stay in Florida. Only a real idiot goes back to Ohio once he's been in Florida for a little bit.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of it. Not a big fan of it at all.
Oh man, that was a fun segment there. All right, well that should wrap it up for us, at least for the National Signing Day for a segment.
What were your thoughts?
My thoughts is exactly what y'all was thinking of. I'm ready to talk basketball, which is probably gonna be me by myself.
He said, I thought exactly the same thing. We're done. Were you happy with Florida's class, Cortez?
I was. I did a little research of it, and I'm glad that we got a lot of offensive linemen to shore that up. What we're gonna do.
And we got a lot of guys that wanted to go to Florida.
Yes.
That were Gator fans and wanted to go to Florida. And that's the key thing when you're looking at kids going to your school. Do you want to come to play for this school? Are you going to be proud to have that M on your helmet? Or the little crazy claw things on your helmet? Whatever y'all got on your damn helmet. Are you proud to have that script Gator on your helmet? Are you proud to have that U? Are you proud to have the spear? Are you proud to have a bulldog or the big G? Are you proud to have a T? Are you proud to have just your number on it because you went to Alabama? If you're proud, if you're wanting to go to that school because that means the world to you, that's the kind of kid that you're really looking for. Right. Is that kid that wants to wear those colors. And that's the kid that you really, really, really want to look at. And Florida did a good job of finding those kids that really want to wear that color and that jersey and say that I went and I played football at my school that I've always loved. And that's those kids that you always want.
That's really huge when it boils down to the scheme of things, man. You got to have the kids that want to come there. Especially even if, and what makes sense is they've been fans their entire lives of that school. And then they grew up and they wound up playing Pee Wee up to Pop Warner. They grew up. Now they're at that point where, I'm going to go to my school. They program.
Yep.
And there's a great example from my school is John Runyon Jr. He committed to Michigan. He's a legacy recruit, which his father played before him. John, believe it or not, John had a onesie as a kid, so he's a Michigan kid from birth. So you got these kids that want to play for this school, and that's just the best part of recruiting. Get these kids that want to be a part of the program, that are committed to you. Those are the ones that represent your school, not the knuckleheads that are here just to play football and don't care about academics.
Yep.
It's true.
Yeah, it's much like Freddie T's kid.
Yeah.
He wanted to come to Florida because Daddy played at Florida, and he loves that school.
And there's nothing wrong with that, and this is like one of the first big decisions you made going into your young adult life. So it is a big deal, and it means so much more if you made that decision that you're a fan of that school since birth.
And that's what there's another kid that came out this year. His name is Tyler Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
And they asked him, they actually had him at Dave & Buster's, and they done an interview with him. And they asked him, they were like, why did you want to go to Florida? He goes, it's kind of obvious. It's like you go to my house and everything's Gator stuff. He was like, I've been a fan. I've went to games all my life. He goes, that's where I wanted to go to school, and that's always where I wanted to go to school. So they were like, well, coaches or anything? He goes, no. He goes, that's where I wanted to go to school. He was like, that was my school. It's much like when Shula was recruiting Tebow to go to Alabama. He goes, I drove up to his driveway. We drive up, there's a Florida Gator mailbox. We drive up into his house. Mind you, this is Christmas time. We go into his house. We see the Christmas tree. It's decked out in orange and blue stuff. We go into Tim Tebow's room. Danny Werfel is hanging all over the wall along with every other Florida person you could think of. He goes, he's going to Florida.
No doubts about it.
I mean, it's that passion for a school that you want to see your recruits have. And I'd rather have a guy that wanted to go because he loved that school than a guy that loved that coach. I'd much rather have that.
Oh, yeah. You know, it's going to be a real interesting situation here. You two guys being Gator fans, really see how McElwain does at Florida, and as well as Harbaugh. We play each other in 2 years. They're really going to see how well these kids get developed in the next 2 years and how well the programs are heading in the right direction. So it's going to be very interesting.
Should be a fun game. By then we should we should be coming off good recruiting classes, and we should both be right back to where you expect these two schools to be at. Definitely. I expect the ball to be flying. Well, one end's going to be flying around a lot. The other end's going to be running the ball a lot.
Oh, yeah.
I remember that, though. 2017, we play in Jerry World.
Nice.
Yes, we did.
So I may have to be looking into going to Jerry World in 2017.
Go to Texas, huh?
Might have to take a trip to Dallas. Go in there and watch them little bitty scoreboards. Them scoreboards are small.
Go to Jacksonville. Look at them big scoreboards.
Hey, look at them big old scoreboard. Oh, at least we got that going for us.
All right. That should do it for us. We do. Steve.
And we got swimming pool.
Steve, we do appreciate you coming on for the segments. Hang tight a little bit. We'll talk to you on a break. But we're finna take a break here, and we'll be back and catch up a little bit about basketball. This is where you hear most of my rambling. So sit tight. This is the Ball in Your Court podcast.
And we let him ramble.
We'll return shortly.